A little bit of those that are joining us for the first time. My name is Hernan Rivera. I have been a makeup artist for over 20 years. I actually started my makeup career as a makeup artist at a counter for a prestigious makeup line. And after being with them for 2 years, they decided to bring me in as one of their trainers and one of their regional makeup artists. I was with this company for a total about of 7 years. And while I was working for them, I also had a beauty segment in Chicago que se llamaba Descubre tu imagen personal con Hernan Rivera en Telemundo. So I had my segment every morning on Saturdays and stuff. So we talked a little bit about just like makeup little tips and tricks and stuff. So I did that for a while, and now I'm here in Miami, and now I'm here in pharmacy, and I love it. It's something completely new. It's something that I never expected to do. So I know, like many of you guys are probably or came into this also because we were looking for something new, something exciting, something for extra cash and stuff. So we're all in the same boat. But that's a little bit of my story of where I come from, what I've done in the past. And I say, let's get to it. I'm super excited. Last week, we talked a little bit about skincare. There was some people who did send to me some messages, so I got back to them. There was one in particular that was asking me about skincare. I don't know if she's on. I did send you a message to let me know your availability so I could get on a phone call with you. I want to get more in depth in what the problem was. So let's get more in depth. I love talking to you girls. I love coming up with solutions and helping you girls in any way possible. So again, like her and any other that sent me a message, please feel free to ask me any questions. I'll be more than happy to assist you if possible. Okay. So this week we're going to talk a little bit about more on the makeup products. Last week we did more on skincare. So this week we're going to focus more on what it has to do with anything that has to do with color. And why isn't this presentation letting me go ahead? Let's see. Hmm. Okay, I think there it goes. Yes, no, maybe. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing it and then I'm gonna start sharing it again just to make sure it's all working properly. So weird. Okay, let's try this again once again. Okay, perfect. I think we got it. Is it working for you girls? Is it moving? Yes. No. Okay. Seems like yes. Okay. So, like I said, last week we discovered a little bit about all about skincare. This week we're going to focus more on color and how we could use the amazing products the pharmacy has for us to use, not only for our personal use, but also for clientele. The most important thing, we're going to revise a little bit from last week. Something that's very important, even when it comes to makeup, is understanding your unique skin type. Because depending on your skin type, it's going to be the types of products that we're going to recommend for our clients. So the main four types of skin that we talked about last week was we have dry, we have oily, we have sensitive, and we have normal. Okay. And combination, I don't really consider it a type of skin because it's those four of types of skin that you combine them to make that combination skin. Okay. So once we understand a little bit about where we stand with what type of skin we have or your clients have, then we're going to have a better understanding of what products are best for them and for yourself. Okay. So let's move on to that. So let's talk a little bit about when it comes to the flawless base technique and mastering the primers, foundations, and concealers, because obviously when it comes to makeup, that's what we want. We want our face to look fabulous. We want to look glamorous. We want to look beautiful. And to do that, we always want to have that perfect skin, correct? So we're going to talk a little bit about the different types of products and how we could achieve them, and then obviously how we can make these products last longer throughout the day. All right, so we're gonna start with our primers. Our primer is really important. Yes, they're gonna make your makeup stay longer. It's gonna help your makeup pretty much adhere better to the skin, and at the same time, it's just gonna give it a nicer finish. Okay, let me open my notes here because I did one. I had some tips that I kind of just wanted to make sure I didn't forget or make sure that you guys like we all are on the same page and stuff that I wanted you guys to have. So. When it talks to primer, there's two primers that we have here in pharmacy. We have the Blur Primer, which that one is going to be more of a matte finish. So anybody that's more in the oily side of the skin or combination, then the Blur is going to be a better fit for them. Okay. Now, somebody, let's say, for instance, that's a little more dry, somebody that needs a little more luminosity to the skin, then we would go gearing into the illuminating primer. Okay, so those are the two different primers that we have here in pharmacy when it comes to the skin. There is one more that I kind of added to this because it's still part of our primers, and it's our eyeshadow primer. And we're going to talk a little bit about eyeshadows later, but I wanted to add it because it's still within the primers. Um, the quality of these primers are amazing. And it's definitely, if you guys haven't tried them, I really suggest you guys do. The nice thing about pharmacy is they're always giving us these products as incentives. So I have a couple that I've always clients and stuff, and they love them, and then they start coming back. Okay, so with that being said, how do you apply your primer? The best way that I always tell my people is warm it up with your fingers first, okay? Because this is going to help the product melt into the skin and it's going to last much longer. Okay, that way it's not going to fight with the foundation. Has it ever happened to you girls where you put on the primer and then you put on your foundation and it starts to like leave like these little residue to the skin? That's because it didn't adhere to the skin very well first. And then you put the product right on top, right over it, and it started to split. So for that reason, you start getting like little scabs, you start getting like the makeup starts to run. So for that reason, it's always very important to warm up the product first. And then once you warm it up, you apply it to the skin. And once it's applied to the skin, let it sit there just for a little bit. I would say leave it for at least 2, 3 minutes before you apply your foundation. So you let it kind of like sit in and then you apply your foundation. Okay. A lot of people have a tendency of trying to do everything at the same time really fast. And then that's when you start getting a little messy because then the products start to kind of split and then they don't adhere good to each other. Okay. So with that being said, um, I want to do this a little more interactive. I know let me see, how many people do we have on right now? Um, there wasn't that many when we were this though. But if you have any questions or anything when we're talking about a certain product, please feel free to raise your hand. I'll be more than happy to kind of answer any questions because like I said, I like doing this a little more interactive. I like you guys to be really involved with it. So let's try to make it as interactive as we can when it comes to our Zoom call. Okay, so we're good there. So anything else that I need you girls to know with your primer is that you will then, before you finish your skincare, let your skincare sit to your skin for about 5 minutes. So once you finish your skincare, do something with your hair, go get your coffee, do something, and then start your foundations. Okay, again, don't layer on top of layering right off the bat. Okay, let time pass so the products could sit and lay better on the skin. Okie dokies. All right, so those are our three primers that are mainly our focus here in pharmacy. And like I said, they are very amazing products. The quality is really, really great. Okay, and now we're going to talk about concealer. This concealer I love. Like it is one of my favorite products when it comes to our makeup collection. Okay, this concealer will reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, and actually kind of works with the puffiness of the eyes. Okay, it's really, really good for disguising dark circles and any imperfections. Okay, this picture that I have here of myself is a picture that I took for a video that I did on my YouTube channel. So also, I'm going to invite you girls to visit my new YouTube channel. I'm revamping it, and I'm going to be doing makeup tips every single day on different topics. And one of them is with this concealer that I absolutely love. Okay. So, about concealers, let's talk a little bit of concealers. Everybody thinks that your concealer should always be lighter. Is that truth or false? It's actually false. Okay, your concealer has to be in the shades depending on what you want it to conceal. Because one thing that you have to keep in mind is that a concealer is there to conceal, it's going to correct something. Okay, people try to have a tendency of trying to cover their bags or their dark circles or anything with their foundation. That's not the purpose of a foundation. Your foundation is there just to even out your skin tone, and your concealer is there to conceal. That's why it's called concealer. Okay, so the concealer is the one that's going to do the heavy work. So for that reason, going back to what I was just asking, is your concealer supposed to be lighter and darker? Well, it depends what it is that we're going to do. And this is where it comes, this is where this theory comes from. So one thing that we have to keep in mind when we're talking about makeup, foundation, eyeshadows, anything is anything that is brighter or lighter, what's going to happen? It's going to amplify and it's going to look bigger. Okay. Everything that's darker, it's going to have weight and it's going to be pulled back. Okay. So now we're going to talk about now going to concealer. If you're trying to conceal something underneath the eye, let's see, right now I don't have anything on, but if I have puffiness here and underneath my eye, do you think I'm going to want to use a concealer that's lighter or darker? Darker. Because if I have puffiness, I want it to conceal. I want it to go back. Because if I have puffiness and I do something lighter, well, guess what? It's going to look even more puffy because it's gonna make it stand out even more. Okay, so that's why it's important to always have, I always tell my customers it's always good to have at least two concealers. One that's going to be almost the exactly same shade of your skin, that literally is just going to be there to camouflage and to kind of get rid of any imperfections. And then one to bring a little light, because we always want light and we always want to feel a little brighter. So of course, everybody wants to bring a little light. So for that reason, I always like having two. I like having one that's a little darker and or right about my skin tone to kind of really conceal, and then one that's going to be brighter just to kind of bring light outward. Okay. So when it comes to concealer, we're going to pick a color that's going to be depending on what we're trying to conceal. That's the number one thing. If you have any acne or anything like that, what shade do you think you're going to use? One that's the closest to your skin tone, because we just want to conceal and we just want to cover any imperfection. Okay, so we're good there when it comes to our concealer. Awesome. Well, if you haven't used it, I highly suggest it because this concealer is amazing. So now I'm going to give you a little trick, because another thing that they always is like, Hernan, how do I do it? Because I always get like my fine lines and wrinkles get more accentuated, so I don't try to use a lot of product underneath my eye. Well, the video that I have on YouTube is just on this, and this is my number one tip that I always give my clients and that I use myself, because of course, I'm getting to a certain age that now I I need to go get my Botox, and I haven't been able to. But of course, we always want to do a little bit of concealer. So what do I do so I don't get my crow feeds to kind of like just be popping all over the place? Well, the best way to do it is you're going to apply your concealer, and your concealer doesn't necessarily go right underneath your eye. It actually starts right in this area, because if you look at yourself in the mirror, the darkness starts here, not down here. Okay, so we're going to start right in this area, and I'm going to take it down to right about right here, and then I'm going to skip all this area and then hit the outer corner. Okay, Less is more sometimes. Okay, so just in this area and then back here. All right. And then from there, what am I going to do? I'm going to actually use a beauty blender and I'm going to spray it with a setting spray. Okay. So not with the sponge wet, nothing like that. It's literally just dry and you're going to mist it with your setting spray. Okay. And then you're going to take the setting, the beauty blender, and then you're going to blend it upward. Okay. So then you're just going to blend, blend, blend upward. Okay. And it's just going to be with the slight mist of the setting spray. And that's going to help actually kind of melt into the skin and really adhere and at the same time help set it. Okay. So that's my little concealer trick that works all the time. Okay, because what it's going to do is just going to give you enough coverage without being too heavy, and then the setting spray is going to help it from moving and getting into the fine lines and wrinkles. Alrighty, so good. So we're good there with their concealer. Okay, let's see. Now we're going to get into our foundations, okay? And making our skin beautiful because like we said, we already concealed. The concealer is there to conceal, to get rid of any imperfections. And now we're just going to even out the skin tone, okay? Because their foundation is not to cover up. It's just there to even out the skin tone. Okay, so what products are we going to start with? We're going to start with our BB cream. Our BB cream is amazing. It's very light and textured. Does everybody know what a BB stands for? It stands for Beauty Balm. Okay, so the BB is almost like a foundation with a little bit of hydration. So it's going to be a little bit of a skincare mixed with your foundation. Okay, so that's what a BB is for. It's called Beauty Balm. Okay, and that one, ours has a medium coverage and it's more of a natural finish. So what does that mean by natural finish? It means there's still going to be some luminosity. There's still going to have, it's going to have more of a satin finish to it. Okay, so what type of skin would this be ideal for? Someone that's a little more dry, somebody that's more sensitive, somebody that's going to just need a little more of that luminosity to the skin. A BB cream would be a very good option. Okay. Now, what's the difference from a CC cream? A CC cream is a color correcting. So a CC is just going to even out the skin tone. So let's say, for instance, you have some redness, you have some blotchiness, you have anything like that. The CC cream is going to help color correct. Okay. And this one has more of a matte finish. Okay. So what type of be really good for a matte finish or somebody like a CC cream? Somebody that's oily, okay? Because the oily people with the oily skin is going to want something that's going to look a little more matte, something that's going to stay more in place for them. Okay, so if you or somebody else that has more of an oily skin, then you will probably gear more towards your CC cream. Okay, awesome. And then, like I said, and the CC cream is there just to kind of even out, blur any imperfections and stuff to the skin. Okay, so that's the CC cream. Now we're going to the VFX Pro. And I'm going to be completely honest, I just started using this not too long ago because another thing that we were like we talked about a little bit last year of who I am and stuff. I also have my own cosmetics company. And one of my personal things from my makeup line is that my foundation is like our number one selling product. So I always was a little hesitant from trying the actual foundations from pharmacy. And now that I'm actually using the VFX, I actually really enjoy it. Okay, and I'll give you guys some tips on how I'm also using it. But a little bit of VX that you guys should know and have in your notes because it's always good for you to know when when you're trying to sell it to your client, or if your client tells you, well, what makes this one different than the other one, for you to actually know what is it. Well, this one is a buildable to full coverage, and it's going to have more of a matte finish. Okay. And what did we just talk about? Matte finish. So anybody who has more of an oilier skin, anybody that wants something buildable to doing a full coverage, because a lot of people say like, I love a full coverage. Well, then VFX is going to be the one that you're going to recommend to anybody that's looking for a full coverage. Okay. Um, and then like I said, and then it's buildable to full coverage and it's more matte finish. Okay. Now the next one that we have is the Air Glow. And the Air Glow um, is very light in texture and it's going to be a little more hydrating to the skin. So it's going to be for somebody who's a little more dry, somebody that's looking for a little more luminosity to the skin. The Air Glow is going to work perfectly fine for them. Okay. And then I'm going to go back to the VFX because there's how I'm using it. And the only reason why I kind of went back and forth was because I was just saying that the air glow is going to be for somebody that's looking for more of a luminosity to the skin. Well, what if that person wants something and oh, and air glow is not a full coverage foundation. So the reason why I'm coming back to the VFX is what if that's a person likes a full coverage but doesn't like it too matte? What can they do? Well, in this case, we don't have another foundation that's going to be a full coverage that is a with a luminosity finish with a satin finish. So what do I do? That's why I'm going back to the VFX now, is mix it with a little bit of your serum, our vitamin C serum. I started doing this a couple weeks ago, and I am loving the finish on the VFX with a little bit of of the vitamin C serum because it's going to give you the full coverage that the VFX is known for, but it's not going to be as matte. So it's still going to give you a nice luminosity to the skin. Okay. So try that. If somebody's like, no, I want a full coverage, but I don't like a matte finish. Okay. Well, then do the VFX, but give it a little pumps of the vitamin C, mix them together, and it leaves such a pretty finish to the skin also. Okay. So that's why I jumped back and forth to it. All right. And then the last one that we have is our BB powder. BB powder, I love. I have it in every color that we have. It's 6 different shades. You could use it as a foundation for somebody who's a little more oily, or myself, I like using it as a finishing powder. So like when I do a foundation, especially for like a wedding or a quinceañera, because I still do a lot of those, I love finishing it off, like finishing off their foundation with this powder because it just gives this really nice finish to the skin that it almost looks like a filter. Like it's very light, but it kind of just blurs everything. It looks amazing. So I actually really recommend those as you like your finishing powder all over after your foundation. If you're looking for something that's going to be more full coverage, something that's going to be more like an evening event or anything like that, because it's really going to give a nice finish to that skin. Okay. So those are our main 5 products that we have when it comes to your foundation or your skin. Okie dokies. All right. So let's move on to now the eyes. Okay. Let me see if there's any way I could kind of like take a peek here. If there's anyone that was asking or is asking or anything like that. No. Okay. Oh, chat. Let's see. Can you mix both foundations? Oh, we kind of talked a little bit about that. Hopefully, kind of like what I just said, kind of helps with what I was saying about mixing both foundations. Instead of mixing both foundations, I would suggest mixing the VX. If you were looking for more of a luminosity, I would mix the VX with a little bit of the concealer. I think it's going to be a better thing. Things for the tips and stuff. Okay, perfect. So I think we kind of went over like the main things that we did there. All right, cool. So let's move to our eyes. That's another fun part because everybody loves color. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about some of the eye products. This is a very simple, very classic look that if you guys want on the chat, write number one. If you write number one, it means that you would want. I would do you girls a video and we'll post it on the English group on how to achieve this look for you girls with some of the products that we're going to talk a little bit about because the most important is just making sure that we achieve clean classic looks that are easy for you and your clients to achieve because that's what it's all about. Selling and providing products to people are exactly that, bringing solutions to people's problems. And if one of the problem is I need something fast, I need something quick, I need something to do, but I still need to look good, well, that's what it's all about. So yes, please, please, perfect. So we're going to do that. So then for next week, I'll make sure that I'll do you guys the video. I'll make you guys a little video on how to achieve this look with the products that we're going to kind of talk about. That way you girls could also then start offering it to your clients for Thanksgiving. Because holidays are coming, we need to look cute, we need to look good. So I'll be offering you guys, I'll do the video and I'll definitely pass it on to you girls with like all the products and stuff that we used. Okay. So a little bit about our eyeshadows. We're going to start with our eyeshadows. One thing that it's amazing about the pharmacy eyeshadows is one, they're highly pigmented. Okay. So for their price and the quality, it is amazing because they're very high. They're highly pigmented. The color that you see there is exactly what you're going to get. Have you ever noticed that sometimes you would get some eyeshadows and you're like playing with it and you're like, oh my God, why do I need more and more? Okay. Well, not with pharmacy. Like here, their eyeshadow palettes are actually superb. Their pigments are amazing. Okay. And the other thing is the variety. Even though we might not have that many palettes, but with the ones we have, you could do so many amazing looks and so many variety of ideas that it's unbelievable. So that's the number thing that I love about their eyeshadows, okay? To me, the number one palette that everybody should have in their kits is the Mirage. It is the best. It's that brown one back there. It's completely matte, is the one that obviously it's perfect for every day. It's perfect for going out. It is a must in everybody's kits. Okay. Now, about our eyeliners. The eyeliner, the waterproof eyeliner, the ones that are the retractables are amazing. I do a lot of tricks and stuff with my clients when it comes to their lining, their lash line to make them look full or for them to look more defined. And that eyeliner, I've noticed that it doesn't smudge, it actually stays in place. Okay, so if you have a lot of people that suffer from like watery eyes or anything like that, and then they start getting like the tear drops with makeup and stuff, I have not had one issue with a client of mine that has happened using this eyeliner. Okay. The ink liner, which is the little marker, amazing. That one is smudge proof. It's water resistant also. So if you really love to use them to do cat eyes or like the wing liner, that is amazing. It's really great, and especially because it's very easy because it's almost like if you're using just a pencil, like a pen. So it has a really nice control of what you're doing with it. Okay. I had a lot of like hard times before when you used to use the liquid liner with the little felt pen or the little, what is it called? The brush and stuff. And the brush would always start wiggling and start, making your eyeliner go all over the place. This one, it's actually easier because you could just rest it and then just drag it and it gives you a really nice finish. Okay, so those are the two eyeliner. Oh, and the retractable. What's really nice about it is there's so many amazing colors. Don't be afraid of using it. Don't be afraid of trying something different. One color that I love that will look amazing on a lot of you girls, especially if you guys have dark brown eyes, is use the plum. the plum color, the one that's blue, it's like a darker blue. I mean, those colors are super great because it's still going to give you a little bit of hint of color, but without being obnoxious and looking not cute because we always want to look cute. So those are just fun ways for you to add color and to add dimension to your looks, okay? So don't be afraid to use them. The nude one is amazing for the inner water, for the water line on the bottom to make your eyes look more open. So yeah, so those are amazing products. Another little tip that I'm gonna guys give you that this is my number one that I use on my clients, and every time I do a makeup class, I always like giving this one because it's like my to-go to get the perfect eyeliner and make your eyelashes look nice and full. And that's doing a tight lining, or when I used to work for Chanel, we used to call it French lining, and that's taking your lid and right on your water line from the upper water line, grab that black powder, not the liquid, the ink liner, the other one, the retractable. Get it in black or a brown and literally hit it right on the lash line in the inside. And when you do that, your lashes are gonna look so full and it's gonna look like you have the perfect liner without having that wiggle line all over the place. Okay, so give that a try. And it's something that literally is gonna be mind-blowing and it's gonna change your makeup look forever. You're gonna be like, oh my God, why didn't I do this before? Okay, so that's good there, right? Now, here's the thing. If you're a kind of person that does makeup on people, or obviously you're doing demonstrations, you're going to people's houses and you're doing makeup and you're trying them on them, it's very, very important, especially when you're doing eyeliners or anything like that, that you're using it on more than one person. Make sure you clean them. Okay. One way that I do these retractables is I break the tips on after every person. Yes, of course you're gonna be like, oh my God, but I'm throwing away so much product. Well, honey, it's better than that than somebody gets something in their eye or that something's gonna happen and then you're responsible for it. Okay, we have to be responsible people. And not only that, but especially if you're working with multiple people, you have to take care of that. Okay. So the way that I do is I literally grab a little tissue and literally just crack the tip, and then I grab some sanitizing and then cleaned up, and then you're ready to go for the next person. Okay. So it's all about hygiene here, honey. Okay. So we're good there. So those are our key products when it comes to the eyeshadows and the eyeliners that are my faves. Brushes for eyes. We have amazing brushes. If you haven't had a chance to try them, please do so. I mean, they're great for the price. The quality of their brushes are amazing. Okay. The first one that I just, the one that, why is it going all over the place? That one. The first one that's just showing up there, that's our angled brush. Okay. That one you could use it obviously to do any type of liner, any outer liners or anything like that. A lot of people, you could use it even for your brows, but the main thing that I use this one for is the outer corners to make sure that we get like a nice smoky liner. That one is the blending brush. Okay, so the crease brush. So anything that you're gonna create that you're gonna blend upward into the crease, that one is an amazing brush because it has an angle and it's gonna make it very nice and easy for you to achieve that look. And we'll talk a little bit more about these on that look that I'm going to create for you girls, and it's going to make it much easier for you to see and understand all that part. The blending brush, superb. Okay, that one's really going to help blend every color. One thing about achieving a professional makeup look is making sure that the colors and everything is blended out nicely so it could look more polished. Okay. And then the applicating brush. Okay. That one's the one that's a little more flat, and that one's the one that's going to be used to apply the color and for the color to stay on longer. Alrighty. So now we're going to talk a little bit about mascaras because we have a lot of mascaras. So how can you recommend which one is best to your client? Okay. Because with what works for one person doesn't mean it's going to work for everyone. Okay, so it's important for you to at least hear what your client's necessity is, okay? Because we're here to solve an issue, we're here to solve a problem. All right, so the first one is the Lash, okay? And that one is gonna be more of, it's gonna make your lashes look a little more natural. It's gonna give you that more of that natural look. And the nice thing about this one is that we also have it in brown. Okay, so if anybody likes a little more natural look to their lashes that is just going to look nice and defined, then Infinite Lash is going to be your mascara to go to. Okay, if somebody's looking for something a little more volumizing, a little more length, then we're going to do the Full Blast. Okay. Now, if somebody wants something more dramatic and that it's going to be really dark, they call this one the extra dark. So it's extra dark. It's going to give you almost like an extension lash effect that's going to look like you have those fake lashes and stuff. Then it's the Zen mascara, the one that's going to be your best friend here. Okay. And then the last one is the double lash, and that one has the two wands. I know a lot of people didn't even know this, but the top part is one wand. And if then when you start twisting the pink part of this mascara, the second wand comes out. Okay. So it's a two wands on that one. And that one is it's a process. Can you explain the full lash again? Yes, I'll do the full lash in a little bit. So when you do the two wands, you would do the length, the first one on the top first, and that's gonna give you some length. It's gonna make you like actually pull the lashes out so you could get them nice and long. And then after that, you would use the second one to bring in the volume. Okay, so that one's gonna give you volume and length for that more dramatic look. All right, and that's the double lash extension. The full blast is going to give you more of volume and length. Okay. The double lash extension does give you the same also, but it's going to be more dramatic, the double lash. Okay. The full blast, again, it's going to give you the volume and the length, but without being like over the top. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so now we're going into anything that it's called like our finishing touches and stuff, which is like our blush and our highlights and stuff like that. Okay. So this palette, if you guys do not have it, it is a to go. Like it is the best. It's one of the best things that I have in my makeup kits. I take it everywhere. I use it on everyone. Not only that, but especially if I have photo shoots or anything, it's so compact that I'll carry it in my little carry-on. So if we're on set and I need to do like if we're doing a photo shoot and I need to run and just put her a little bit more blush or a little highlight or something, it's all in that little palette. It is amazing. It does come in 3 shades. And then we have the glow one. But the 3 shades, it's the medium, the fair to medium, and then the medium to deep. And then we have the peach one. Okay. My two favorites and the ones that I go to all the time is the fair to medium, and the peach one. Okay. I think those are, like I said, those are amazing. They're great to have. They're very practical, and it's a product that it's a must in your makeup kits for sure. The brush. Another of my favorites. Why? Because of that angle. That angle in that brush is perfect for you to do all your contouring in your blush placement because it just falls right into the angles of your face. It's amazing. Okay. Now we're going to talk. These are the placements. If you guys want to take a screenshot or anything like that, these are the placements of where you put your contour and your blush and stuff. I'm going to go on to the next screen. I'm going to also have it there. But I want to talk a little bit about these products. I think a lot of people don't talk so much about these. I think these products are amazing, and I think it's important for us to touch base on them and for you girls to understand what's the difference from both of them. Why choose the liquid blush over the cream blush, okay? So a little bit about these. Um, there goes me again. On my YouTube channel, I just did a video on how to apply your blush underneath your foundation. It's like a little tip and trick, and it looks amazing. And I actually ended up using the color Play from the cream blushes. And it just leaves like this really soft color to the skin, like super fresh, something that you kind of just woke up out of bed and you're just kind of like nicely blushed. So those are one of the things that I really think a lot of people don't use these because they're afraid that they don't know how to use them or anything like that. And don't be afraid. That's the beautiful thing about makeup. Makeup, you could play with it. And you know what? If it doesn't look good and if it doesn't work, you take it off. That's simple. But the most important is just play with it and use them because they are amazing, amazing products. Okay, so what's the difference from the cream and the liquids? Because we have the liquids that are the ones in the longer tubes, and then we have the actual like bars and creams. Okay. So obviously the texture is going to be one of the main difference, okay? The ones in the tubes are more of a liquid form and the ones in the bars are a cream form, okay? So the liquid one, the one that comes in the little in the tubes, that one is going to be more buildable. So you're going to have to build upon it. Okay, so you're going to apply it and then you're going to blend it out and then you're going to have to build on it. Okay, the cream one, on the other hand, once you apply it, it's going to be more like an instant color. So it's going to stay there and it's going to be like, oh, I have color. I don't have to build on it. Okay, so that's one of the main difference from those two. Okay, and then the other thing, is what kind of customer is the one that's going to be more suitable for each one. Okay. Well, the one that it's liquid is going to be somebody that's looking for something a little more of a natural finish to their skin, something that's going to look like just like a little hint of color without being too much, or somebody that's going to have a more of a controlled makeup routine. And what I mean by controlled is that they're going to be able to like um, have some time to do it because you're going to have to build upon it. Okay. The cream one, on the other hand, because it's more instant color, that one is going to be for someone that is on the go because literally you could throw some on and you're going to just, blend it outward and you're going to have color there already. You don't have to sit there and build on it. The other amazing thing about the cream is that you could also use it on the lips. Okay, so you could put a little bit of them on the cheek, and then you could also put it a little bit on the lips, and it kind of gives you like that instant lip and blush combo. Okay, so that's what's really nice about both of them. Okay. I like the sun-kissed look. Same here. Like I really, really do it. And the thing is that you could really achieve that with these, using them, the creams, using them mixed with your like your foundation, like I was saying. Go look at the video. It's actually really cute. It's really good. So you put on the blush and then you blend it out with your foundation. And it gives you just like the soft, like really nice, just glow to the skin without looking overly done. And yes, Play is one of my favorite colors. That's the one that I used on the video. And I really, really love it. I love the contour sticks too. The contour sticks, you would use them the same way. You pretty much would use the contour stick to bring more definition to the skin. Okay, because remember, what did we say since the beginning when we were talking about even our concealers? Anything that's darker is going to give depth and it's going to give weight. Okay. So that's exactly what when you're concealing, that's exactly what you're doing. You're bringing depth to some areas. That way your jawline looks stronger, your face looks more defined because you're creating depths, okay, with that darker color. And then obviously with anything that's light, boom, you're making it stand out, you're making it shine more. It's going to be amplified. Okay? So that's what we were talking about when I was talking about the concealers and everything. And we're going to use it in everything that has to do with makeup. Everything that's light comes out and looks bigger. Everything that's darker, obviously, is pulled back and has more weight. Okay. Now, cheeks, the blush. Okay. The placement on blush. People ask me that all the time. For a very natural look, It's anywhere that there's flesh, okay? Wherever we have a little bit of meat, that's where we normally blush, okay? Blush is the one product that can make you look 5 years younger or 5 years older instantly. Because what's the one thing that we all do from the moment that we're born? We blush, okay? And then the other thing is like if you see little kids running around and stuff, and you're always like, oh my God, how cute. Look at their little cheeks. It's because they're blushed exactly where they're supposed to be. And it's a perfect, like it's a mental thing where you think like, oh my God, when you're nice and blushed, you look so young, so youthful, so fresh. Well, the same thing. If we apply our blush exactly where it's supposed to be, mentally to people's eyes, you're going to look much younger and much fresh, much more rejuvenated than you normally, or whatever your age is. So people are going to automatically be like, "Oh my gosh, she's so young. She's so youthful. Look at her skin just glow," because you're blushed exactly where you're supposed to be. Now, if you have somebody that could like have like a big line across their cheek, they're gonna be like, "Oh no, honey, she got lost in the 80s. She's like up there in age too." So it's really important how we really place our blush because it makes a big difference, because that's why it's called makeup, because you're literally making something up. You're creating, you're manipulating, you're playing with color, you're playing with shades, you're playing with colors. Okay. So if you apply the blush correctly, it's going to be something that automatically is just going to bring more freshness, more light to the skin automatically. Alrighty. Can anyone send me the link for his YouTube channel? It's just Hernan Beauty Coach. You could look it up like that. So we're good there when it comes to blush and stuff. Okay, that is something that we all have to kind of do. So the best way, smile, where there's a little bit of little flesh. That's where you kind of want to touch the color and just bring it back up, 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 up. Alrighty? Okie dokies. So now let's talk about the lip. Yes, it's Hernan Beauty Coach is my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for sharing it. Really appreciate it. All right. So let's talk about, you make it sound so easy. It is easy. We're going to make it easy. I want all of you girls to be like, oh my God, I could do this. It's so easy. And it's going to be easy. We're going to make it easy. All right. So we're going to talk about lips. So lip liners, amazing, great colors, great everything. One thing that you guys have to be careful with them. They're super, super soft. So what does that mean? Do not, like, you know how usually you try to have a tendency of retracting the lip liner out so you could use it a lot. You have to go minimal. Like as soon as you start seeing the product come out, stop. Because if you overtake it out a little bit, I am sure it's going to crack on you. So make sure you kind of like go really lightly to right where you see the little tip and use that to start applying the lip liner, because they are extremely soft, okay, to the touch. But the colors are amazing. They're very nice, blendable lip liners. I actually, a lot of times, I have those two together because I like doing a combo where you could do your lip liner. You literally do your lip liner, blend it out a little bit like this, and then put a little gloss, and it looks amazing for your everyday. Okay. So those I put together because those you could use the lip liner and the gloss on any type of lipstick, but I want to get into our lipsticks because we do have a lot of different types of lipsticks. And the thing is, when we don't know a lot about the products, we usually have a tendency of just recommending what you normally use for yourself, and then you forget about everything else. So I always like, at least for you girls, to have very basic understandings of all the products that we have, so then you could really recommend something that is best for your client. And again, and I always love saying this, you have to listen to what the client is looking for. Because once you listen, then you know exactly what you need to do or sell her to to solve that issue or problem that she has. Because that's what sales is all about. We are here to solve people's problems. All right, so the first one that we are starting with is the BB Glaze And the BB glaze is actually one that I love and I use every single day for myself because that one is a very translucent lip gloss, a lipstick. It's very translucent, it's very sheer. It's just gonna give you like a hint of color. Like I know we have a color there that it's like very, like if you look at it, it looks super dark, but then when you actually apply it, it's super nice because it's very soft. It just gives you like a sheen to the lip with a little bit of a hint of color. Okay, but that one's gonna be more of a what is it called? Like a luminosity finish. So it's gonna look a little more like a almost like a, I don't want to say like a gloss because it's not glossy, but it feels very nurturing to the lip. Okay. So that one's the one that's really great that I think it's great for every day. People who live in cold areas. Like I'm originally from Chicago. So I was like saying like to my people from Chicago and my team from Chicago, I'm always like, look, this is what we're gonna push in the winter because it's gonna be very nurturing to the lip, but it's still gonna give you a hint of color. Okay. So that's one of my favorites, the BB Glaze. Okay. And then we have the classic lipstick. Okay. That one's just a classic lipstick. That one's going to have more of a satin finish. Okay. So if somebody loves the feel of the regular lipstick where they have it, pull it from their purse, they could retouch up and stuff, that one's perfect. And like I said, that one has more of a satin finish. Okay. So it's not going to be as glossy, but at the same time, it's not matte. Okay, that's the traditional lipstick. Then we have the Lip Stylo, and that one's a hybrid between a regular lipstick and almost like a gloss. So that one's gonna give you more of a like a glossier feel to or finish to it. So it's gonna be more shiny. Okay, and that one, I think it's more limited on colors that on our website also, but that's a good one for somebody that wants more of a shine but doesn't want a lip gloss because there's a lot of people that are so against lip gloss that are like, no, I just don't like lip gloss. I just think it's too much, but I do like a glossier finish. Well, then that one's going to be your perfect lipstick for it. Okay. And then the last one that I love and I have it almost in every single color, is our liquid lipsticks. Okay, those are more matte, those are more long wearing, and those will not go anywhere. I mean, they are so good, and they're going to give you more of a dramatic color to the lip. Okay, so they're going to be a little more intensified. So that's the liquid lipsticks. One that I did not add here, and right now when I was talking about like having a little bit of color but more of a gloss feel to it, one that I don't have here, and it just popped into my mind right now, is the Latina collection. I don't know if any of you girls have used the Latina collection. Those are amazing. They're really good, but they're not like the matte lipsticks because in the beginning, I thought when I got the Latina collection, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be like another like the matte lipsticks, and they're not. They're actually more hitting it more like a gloss, but it's gonna have some color to it. Okay, so the Latina collection is more glossier finish, but with more with color. Okay, so that's a little bit about all the lipstick, the different types of lipsticks, the types of finishes, and then like I said, depending on what you or your client is looking for, those are the different variations and stuff that you guys could kind of like work with. Okay. So now let's go back into what we were talking about last week, and it's about selling. Okay. You have to lead with solutions and not with the product. Kind of like what I've been telling you guys the whole time that we're looking. What's the solution? What's your client looking for? Listen to what she's looking for. Then find the solution for it. Okay. Don't just try to sell her the product just to try to sell her the product because we want her to come and be a repeat customer. Okay. Tell stories. Don't give speeches. People don't like to just listen like, oh my God, this has vitamin C. This has blah, 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 blah. People are like, oh my God, sales lady, all she wants me to do is buy, buy, buy. No. Tell stories. Kind of like what I personally was telling you. I love the concealer. The concealer works amazing on me. What do I do in order to achieve without getting the lines? Like I take the beauty blender, I da, 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 and I do that. It's more of a storytelling. If you use the products and you are part, if you become the product and you love the product, tell them your stories. How do you use it? Why do you love it? Okay. So tell more of the story. Don't give the speeches. Okay. And use the try me moments. That's kind of like what we were talking about. Let them you feel it. Make them fall in love with them. Okay. And if you can't, like, let's say, for instance, if you are doing demonstrations or anything like that, then obviously it's easy for you to do the try me's. But let's say, for instance, if you're doing it on social media, how can you do a try me? Do it right here. So you could get the eyeshadow and be like, look at this. Look how pigmented they are. Look how they work. Oh my God, look, I don't need that much product. And look how like intensify the pigments are. Okay. Those are the moments that are like aha moments, like, oh my God, okay, look at that. Okay. Create personal routines, kind of like what we were talking about. Again, my crow feet with my concealer. What's my personal routine? I grab my concealer, I apply it, then I grab my beauty blender, I spray it with the setting spray, and then I do it in upward motions. That's my routine. You could do the same with your clients. You know, if you have a client that doesn't like using a lot of makeup, okay, perfect. This is what we're gonna do. I think you need a CC cream because it's just going to even out your skin tone. Then we're going to highlight a little bit right in this area for the darkness with your concealer, and we're going to set it with the powder. That's a routine. You already created a routine for her. Okay. Then from there is educate through the values of it, kind of like what we were just talking about. And the more you educate them, the way you teach them, the way you tell them how to use it, how to apply it, what is it good for, you're educating them and it's giving them value. It's adding value to what you're offering them. Okay. And then keep it conversational. Let's have a conversation. What is it that you're looking for? What can I do for you? Okay, well, if you get, if you get this and, you're going to get people that are, I know, but I can't take that many stuff. Perfect. But at least let's start here. And then next time you should try this because I think this is going to work great with what you already purchased. And it's just a matter of just keeping it conversational, keeping it trustworthy with that person, because that's what's going to cause for that person to come back to you every single time that they need new products. Okay. All righty. And then from there, I'm going to open to some questions and we're going to keep this open for a little bit just to see if you guys have any questions. Okay, I'm a mature woman and I have dark circles underneath my eyes. I'm using the product for underneath the eye circles and I use the concealer underneath my eyes to cover it. Is there something different that I can do? Okay, so what products are you using underneath the eyes? Because you said that I'm using the product for dark circles. Is it the patches or are you using the serum or what is it that you're using? If you could write to me real quick. Because the patches are going to work, the Lumi patches will work to kind of, hello? Hello, hello. Oh.
Okay,
Going back to
I'm
what I was just,
sorry.
it's
I'm
okay.
sorry. Miss Laverne, I was going to try to type it would be easier if I just go
Yeah,
ahead
for sure.
and tell
Absolutely.
you.
And that way everybody could hear it because not everybody's looking at the chat. So yes.
Okay, so I was using something before that my dermatologist had suggested, but since I'm doing this business now, I just started in the business last month, well, September. But now I am using the brightening eye balm, which I just started last month from our business. So I wanted to know if, I mean, because the dark circles have been here for years. And since I just recently started using something for the under eye dark circles, I guess I'm looking for a magical cure to make it go away overnight. But with our products, is there something that I can use besides the like I said, the under eye,
Okay.
the
Well, first of all,
brightening eye balm?
I'll give you my little routine of what I'm going to say. And if anything, you could always write to me also on, I'm going to put my Instagrams here. So
Okay.
my social media is the Hernan Beauty Coach, as that's also my YouTube, and you could always send me a picture, message there, and I would want to talk to you because I would want to see you and kind of see, and that way we could kind of like discuss it more in depth. But here's the thing, and I'm going to be completely honest, and I think that's why one of the best things about me, and I think that's why my clients really trust me and stuff, is because I don't like lying to my clients, and I keep things very real to everyone. And one thing that I'm going to ask you, babe, is your under eye situation a genetic? Is it something that like runs in your family, or is it something that just kind of started happening over period of time?
I guess it started just over a period of time.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Then there's more solutions to it. Because the thing is, if it's a genetic thing, like let's say, for instance, if it runs through your family, like let's say your dad or your mom or your grandparents always had dark circles and darkness underneath, there's no magic cure for it because it's a genetic thing that automatically it just runs into your family. So it's
Okay.
almost like saying like I want to grow a fifth finger, sixth finger. It's not going to happen because it's a genetic thing that it's just there. It's not gonna go away. Okay. But
Mm-hmm.
obviously, when we don't take like not that we don't take care of our skin, but let's say for instance, when we don't sleep correct, we're not drinking a lot of water, we're not doing all that stuff. Of course, those problems then also kind of like amplify the issue. Um, but if it's something that has just started to happen, it's just kind of being consistent. How have you been liking it? The brightening cream, the eye cream.
Well, it's been just a couple of weeks. I really haven't seen any difference. And even with the stuff I was using probably several months, maybe since the end of last year, I really didn't see much of a difference. So
Hmm.
like I said, I mean, and I understand as far as with getting rest, that has gotten, sometimes if I can see if I don't get that much sleep and it's
It
like
amplifies, it
that's
makes it
really a
more.
bad day.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, correct.
I
Yeah.
would say,
Hmm.
here's the thing. Have you now I really want to talk. I really want to talk to you, like on off of this, like
Okay.
because I want to see you. But I say then the main thing first is stay consistent with the with your eye cream and stuff that you're using. Give it some time. I always tell people like it's skincare and stuff is not a overnight magic potion. Like it's something that you have to be consistent in order for you to start seeing results. Okay.
Right.
So I would say let's continue using that, but add some the brightening patches to your eyes too, because
Okay.
those will
Okay.
always be good. And the way that I actually like using the patches, and this is for anybody who wants to take this tip too, I like putting them in the fridge because it keeps them nice and cool. So then when you apply them, they're nice and fresh. And fresh will
Okay.
always be really good for underneath the eye area too. But I would suggest even using those eye patches, those extra days that you're not getting enough rest or that you're a little dehydrated or anything like that, because at least it's going to boost the circulation underneath the eye area a little more. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's what I would suggest to doing when it comes to that cream and your eye patches. Now, if you want like an instant correction when it comes to makeup, um, I would then do a corrector, not just a concealer. It's a corrector, the correcting sticks, and those come more in like shades. Those are the ones that come like in green, orange, peach color, stuff like that. And if you want, like I said, write to me and we could definitely go over and I could help you get something like that too.
Okay, I definitely will because it's like that's one of my main things when it comes to my face. It's like the dark circles and yeah. Okay, I could and this has been something that I've wanted to be able to get corrected for years. And as I started to get older, and I didn't, so like trying to do it now with this business will be great. So I can be like you were saying, as far as with the customers that I have, I can show them like I'm using this. This has been working. So
Mhm.
I will definitely hit you up, in a
Yeah,
day or
send me a
two.
message. And
Thank
then
you.
Jenny said, try the restore. It's helped me rest. It helped me to the rest on the 4 hour sleeps that I get. and it under with the underneath eye puffiness and dark and the darkness also. So the restore, she uses the restore. So it's also the eye patches from the restore. So, alrighty. Any other questions? Anybody that wants to ask something before we kind of close this out? Um, but I look forward to having all these messages from you girls. Like I said, if you do have anything and you can't think of anything now, but you something pops up later and be like, oh my God, I totally should have asked him about this. Please feel free to send me a message. I'll be more than happy to help you guys out in any way or any form. Like I said, sometimes it will take me a little longer to get back to you because I do get a couple messages, but believe me, I will eventually get to you and I will be more than happy to assist you in any way possible. Yes, Restore is powered to drink and help me to do, yes. And then some people use the CC cream as a foundation. Is that okay? Absolutely. CC cream could be used your foundation because it's like I said, the foundation, the CC cream and everything like that is just to even out the skin tone. So yeah, by all means, that's perfect. If you're using the CC cream because you want something that's going to be more light texture, something that's going to be more natural, then that's more than enough. Obviously, if you want something more for going out or you need something that's going to have a little more coverage, then you would start going to the other foundations also. But no, CC cream is perfect for every day as your foundation. So, alrighty. All right, peeps. Well, it was a pleasure being with you all tonight. And again, I look forward to hearing from all of you. So if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Have a great one. Besitos. And please go follow my YouTube channel. I'm trying to grow it. I'm revamping it after a couple years. So let's do this together. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos and stuff using our products too. Like I said, I did the blush one, the concealer one using all pharmacy products. So I'll be doing a lot more of those also. So have a good one. If you guys have any recommendations on what to do on the YouTube channel, like if you want little tips on certain product, let me know and we will absolutely do those for you. Okay. So have a good one. Big kisses. Take care.